At Telecare, every employee has a unique story about how they landed here, and that story is important. Your story allows others to connect with you. It's a collection of experiences that make you, you. Here are a few personal stories from your peers to help you better connect with others in the same role. Maybe someday you'll share your story with us too.
I've done everything from acting to human resources for web development to I was a medical esthetician for years, was a real estate agent for a short period of time, and a habit change coach, and a whole bunch of things. But have found myself just being called more and more and more to help people that are struggling and are really just in need of some lived experience, some support, a safe space, and people that they can trust. And that's how I found myself in this role, not remotely in a direction that I was planning on going, but like I said, my heart was calling me and I jumped in, and I've been very, very happy with that decision. This job just blends together my experience in my personal life and my professional life and where I want to go moving forward. So it's really meaningful for me because I'm able to help people that are obviously in a position where I was in a similar position to that at some point in my life. And, you know, I was able to get support and get some help. And frankly, I didn't get it at the time that I needed it. I went through my own transition, and in my periods of lucidity, I made a big jump forward, and and then I fell back a bit, and then I made another big jump forward, and it's all been really amazing for my own growth and super valuable to be that light at the end of the tunnel and to help somebody, even if it's in the smallest way. And I think it was Gandhi that said, you only find yourself when you lose yourself in the service of others. And this does that for me. Definitely my lived experience has been massive. And if somebody could have told me years ago that all this baggage lived experience that I was like shoving under the mental carpet for a long time would have ended up being like my superpower, I would have drug it out of there a long time ago. So that, I think, is amazing, and it's very helpful to be able to pull that lived experience out and say, wow, this piece of coal ended up being a diamond. It's like the greatest thing ever.
So growing up, I was just a busser, a waitress. Then 2004, I got my caregiving license and worked with developmentally disabled. And then I was a caregiver until last year when Telecare found me. I've worked with mental health before. I was working at a hearing aid place, and I was not happy where I was at, and I had my application on Indeed, and they found me, and it's very exciting. And then like my very first caregiving job ever with developmentally disabled, we had some schizophrenia. So and a lot of bipolar, so I had some of that experience, bipolar and dementia in my family.
So I worked for a pretty large credit union for 15 years, until like 2017, I think is when I quit. I worked my way up from a part-time contact center representative to what they call a member consultant team leader. So I had 20 plus employees, give or take. I was responsible for all their evaluations, coaching, both positive and negative. I was responsible for scheduling, coaching, a lot of getting people to buy into changes. And it was really fast-paced type of environment, helping very angry people at times. The last role that I was in, the consultant team leader, that was a lot less operational and a lot more HR.
My first job was actually I worked in a warehouse in a powder coating company. I was hired on as a cleanup kid, but the owner of the company really liked me, so I did a lot more than that. I worked there for a year and a half for my first job. Then my mom was like, she kept on like insisting, oh, you should come apply at my job, but because she was janitorial for Telecare actually. I finally just got to the point one day I was like, Mom, I don't really want to do janitorial. She was like, no, it's not that. You get to work directly with clients. I was like, you should have told me that from the beginning. So I ended up getting an application. I walked in, turned it in. Our administrators at that time were like, hey, you want to do a just on the spot interview? I was like, sure, I will totally do that. And I ended up spending like 30 minutes talking to them before the interview even happened. I was kind of dead set on going into nursing for that, like 9 years. I just thought I was thinking in my mind, oh, if I start going to college, this would be the perfect kind of role to get into. I'd have experience at least in a mental health role. So then if I decided to get my nursing degree, I already have the experience in there. So it'd be so much easier for me to get a job in mental health if I wanted to. A family member in my household has bipolar depression, and it was something that she didn't know what it was for many years. Of course, when diagnosed, the stigma with that, so then having that family member like really thinking about, oh, people are going to think badly of me just because I have this diagnosis, and then that person being able to tell me I'm not bipolar, I have bipolar, and that was like a huge breakthrough kind of thing. And like I want to be able to share that with the other clients that I come in contact with.